Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm here at Crypto Nation. If you're new here, it's totally free to subscribe and hit the like button for post notifications. And this is another episode of Crypto Nation Reacts. Excuse me. And the title's called Alex uh, Mashinsky says F's crypto holders one more time. So let's see what happens here. Because Bitcoin is back down to 56,000, and Ether's back under 3,000. So let's see what's going on. For a minute, it looked like the market was making a comeback, but now it looked like we kind of dipped again somehow. But let's see what's going on here and see what they're talking about. All right.
Bitcoin flushed all the way to $53,000. We have since reclaimed what should have been resistance, could still be support. Will this price hold, or is a deeper flush coming? Before we get to that, breaking news, and this affects all Bitcoin holders. Alex Mashinsky is trying to the crypto community one last time. You remember Alex Mashinsky and Celsius Network, of course. Alex Mashinsky encouraged you to deposit your crypto with him into Celsius instead of the banks, because unlike the banks who loan out your money and barely give you anything, Celsius was giving customers like 80% of the yield that was generated. And best of all, this yield was practically risk-free. Or so he said. Here, CoffeeZilla recaps the scam on Joe Rogan.
Alex Mashinsky, CEO of Celsius, his whole thing was banks are evil, which is not crazy. I mean, it's like, you can understand why a lot of people resonated with that. He said, like, they're greedy.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's true. Like, it's like...
and he's not.
Yeah. He goes, like, banks are not your friends. True statement, Alex. And then this interviewer's like, but Alex is your friend? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you can take the same ride as me, 8% a year. I'll just give it to you. We're doing the same thing as the banks. We're loaning out your money, but we're going to pass on 80% of the revenue back to you instead of the banks, which they take all your money, right? So people bought into that. They said, that sounds great. Like hey, the internet changed everything. We think crypto's going to change everything. Why not have a bank that instead of serving its shareholders, it serves its customers? It kind of like, there's something that makes sense there. It's really compelling. And then come to find out, Celsius was never making money. They said they were paying out you with their profits. They were paying out you with new deposits. Like, new people were coming in and they were paying you out. And so it was this giant Ponzi scheme where they set the rewards because they knew if it's high enough, people are just going to flock to them. And so, but they had this compelling explanation for why, like, it kind of made a little bit of sense. And then when it finally goes wrong, he just walks away.
So the new news is this, because right now Celsius is currently going through a process where they have to pay out their creditors, or they will at a certain point. So Celsius needs some money to pay out their creditors. Where are they getting this money? Well, some of it is trying to be collected from people who withdrew their money 90 days before Celsius declared bankruptcy. They're attempting to claw back those funds plus more by suing for June 14th, 2024 market rates instead of the 2022 rates. What Celsius is attempting is criminal.
This is possibly one of the most insane things I've read about crypto this entire year. So you remember Celsius, that exchange back before 2022 that had to be shut down for, I believe it was also misuse of customers' funds. Well, they're trying to sue people who try to withdraw their money 90 days before they went bankrupt, but it gets even worse. In 2022, I don't know if you remember, but Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these crypto prices were a lot lower than they are here in 2024.
Wow, I just built the most amazing workflow on Monday.com.
You build your own workflow? Why? There are a bunch of amazing pre-made templates you can just choose from.
They're trying to sue for 2024 prices. That way they can take that money from these users and redistribute it to the users who lost funds that are probably trying to sue them. What do you think about this situation?
And of course, it's important to say, because I'm sure some people are commenting right now, this money that they're trying to claw back, most of it's probably not going to go to the creditors. The money that they're clawing back from the creditors, probably most of it's going to be going to the lawyers and not the people who need it most. So Yeah, this is insane. Celsius is low-key one of the biggest cancers in crypto. Mashinsky constantly described Celsius as a bank, gaslit doubters by telling people all loans were over-collateralized, and bragged that Celsius had more proof of deposits than any bank. Meanwhile, he was knowingly operating it as a shitty investment fund, aping NFTs, pool twos, and all sorts of other crap. He also withdrew $10 million personally right before the bankruptcy. Did you know this? That Mashinsky withdrew millions personally before Celsius went bankrupt?
Celsius top executives cashed out over $17 million before bankruptcy. So when they was holding up everybody withdrawals from the platform, they was cashing out millions. Alex, you got some explaining to do. Follow for more content.
And by the way, as long as we're airing out grievances, do you remember in the beginning of the Celsius bankruptcy and lawsuits when Celsius published a 14,000-page document detailing every user's full name, linked to timestamps and amount of each deposit and withdrawal and liquidation, a horrific breach of privacy, all while he just kept promising users 7 to 8x on their money for everybody. Everybody in the world could have got access to this, is what he used to say.
Celsius Network pays interest once a week. We can put 1 billion people on the Ethereum platform using Celsius. We are an ERC20 token, and we can support that application tomorrow. There's no problem with scale. The only way today for everybody on the planet to earn 7% interest, 7 times more than the bank, is using the blockchain, using Bitcoin, using stablecoins.
You realize you just said something that's impossible, right? Everyone on the planet to earn 7% interest, right? You realize you just said that, right?
It is impossible. The money doesn't grow on trees. You can't give everyone 7%.
But to be honest, it's more the government's fault than Celsius or any one entity, because our ridiculous, twisted legal system actually gives a case like this an excuse to exist, and I would chalk up Celsius's failures as another failure of Gary Gensler. He's racking up so many at this point.
The biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir, reclaiming my time. You were. Does it concern you that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws...
You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans.
Now, Bitcoin's price is in a very shaky spot. Here's the good news, though. This has a strong possibility of being the local low. It's possible Bitcoin doesn't go any lower than this. Of course, it's also still possible 51 gets hit or 49 gets hit. We'll really only know after the fact. If you are a believer in the future of this space like me, the level of dip that we have seen thus far is a great area to start stacking again. In my opinion, there's plenty of light at the end of this tunnel. There's plenty of green flags that show us that crypto as an industry is here to stay in the US and around the world. A judge has just ruled that BNB token is not a security and dismisses the claims from the SEC. That's right, a judge just slapped the SEC's suit on Binance down, saying the secondary sale of Binance's BNB token are not securities, aka when sold to retail on exchanges. Quote, the SEC failed to prove how secondary buyers of BNB purchased the tokens with the expectation of profits rather than for utility.
Well, I just want to say that the SEC, they need to just go ahead and give it up. All they're doing is just slowing down the crypto market. That's all they're doing at this point. They just need to leave the community alone. You know, they were coming at XRP, then Ethereum, BNB. Yeah, they just need to give it up, leave it alone.
And of course, this has broader implications on the whole space, meaning crypto tokens in general are not securities, specifically when traded on secondary markets. Also, stablecoins are not securities, which is a big deal too. Of course, we have so many entities buying Bitcoin nowadays, it seems very unlikely Bitcoin stays at these levels forever. I mean, we point out different entities all the time, corporations, persons, countries. In this case, El Salvador continues daily Bitcoin acquisition amid market downturn. And there's plenty to look forward to with this spot Ethereum ETF coming sooner rather than later, possibly days. Grayscale surveyed their clients, and their data shows a 25% increase in US investor interest in Ethereum if a spot ETF is approved. And not Republicans, not Democrats. This is bipartisan. On either side of the political zone, they're interested in Ethereum, they're interested in crypto. Of course, we still need a cryptocurrency president. Guys, make sure you get your tickets to Bitcoin Nashville this month. Donald Trump might be a speaker there. Either way, use Altcoin Daily for 10% off, linked below. My name is Aaron. If you're interested in making money in cryptocurrency, subscribe to the channel. We keep you updated on a daily basis. See you tomorrow.
All right, guys, that's another episode of Crypto Nation Reacts. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for post notifications. And once again, thanks to all my recently new subscribers. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Hope everybody have a great Sunday. Peace.